Mr. Jawhar Sircar, thank you so much for joining us. What a pleasure, Mr. Sarkar, to have you on my show. Let me start my interview with asking you if you were currently with Trinamool Congress, would you be a rebel MP or would you be part of them?
I'm the original rebel, if you ask me.
That's why I asked
No,
you.
I'm the original rebel who actually walked out after a brief stay, because there is a very strong plus for the party and very strong minus also. The plus part of it is that it is geared to fight. It was geared to fight the Modi autocracy more than many other parties. Street fighting. It was virulently opposed to the centre's policies and all that, and much more active than, let us say, even the CPIM in Kerala, where it came to real fights. The minus part of the party was that, like most other parties, it was centered around one person, and there was no ideology, no binder, no binding factor. They claim to have that old Congress ideology of nationalism and all that, but I realized as I moved along that it was a lot of hot air. We found a lot of individuals, some of whom were committed to fighting communal autocracy, but most were there for a career, and that's where it gets problematic. Most of them were there for a career. I mean, they could have gone to any other party if there was an opening. Now, these people were stuck together with three things: power, number one; number two, the opportunity to enrich oneself. Most of them, not all, most. Power, money, and chewing gum. The chewing gum was Mamata Banerjee. So, these were the three factors holding it all together. Then came Abhishek Banerjee with a lot of entitled snobbery and a lot of, let us say, unpalatable domineering behavior without ever having fought on the street for a single day. And he queered the pitch. He queered it from, he was around from 2019, just around 25 years old. Nobody even gave him much bhav. But from 21, he became very prominent. And that prominence was given to him by Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah. In the 21 elections, I remember, state elections, I remember Modi and Shah concentrated, they spent around 44 days in one state when COVID was raging India, if you remember. They were not in Delhi trying to control COVID, but they were fighting Mamata Banerjee in Bengal. They started a sneering campaign against the nephew. The nephew here is called Bhai Po. Bhai, brother, Po means son, Putra. So, brother's son, Bhai Po, and they went hammer and tongs after him. After Mamata won the 21 elections, she decided that since Bhai Po is your beta noir, let me put him in front. So she put him in front. That was 21. Till 24, he was under some sort of a restraint because basically Mamata was operating through, let us say, IPAC and other strategists. IPAC was then run by Prashant Kishore and it was reasonably professional. And 24 elections, if you remember, Prashant Kishore came out and said that they won't, 21 elections, they said they won't get 100 seats, 24 also, he said. From 24, we could realize that Prashant Kishore was not there except as a shadowy figure. Between 21 and 24, this transformation took place and Bhai Po took over. The nephew took over through a lot of other intermediaries. And that is where the problem begins. The official part of the problem begins. So, that is the story of Trinamool. But I would say that what is happening now is not so much directly related to the official stance of revolt against Bhai Po, against the nephew. It is more of an opportunist game that suited both sides.
Mr. Sarkar, my question is again the same what I started with. If you were a MP today, if you were a Rajya Sabha MP today with TMC, would you join the rebels or would you be with Mamata Banerjee?
I would remain on my own. There are reasons for that. Mamata Banerjee is discredited for a lot of things. I will not get into all that. I had raised this point from the time she invited me to become an MP and was a little bit of a, let us say, critical MP from 21, 22. 22, when Partha Chattopadhyay, the education minister, was caught with a pile of cash. I had to come out publicly and the party didn't like it. Saugata Roy said that throw him out of the party. I told Saugata Roy, I am not a member of your party. How can you throw me out? I mean, that sort of thing. So, you see, going to Mamata was a decision, going with Mamata was a decision of taking one step forward in fighting what one calls communal autocracy, a communal based autocracy. I was fighting alone, I was fighting court cases, fighting in public. So I said, okay, here is an organization that is officially committed to it, so let me be with them. And they found me useful as a speaker. Somebody who had experience could speak for the budget and all that. It's all right up to them. But after that, when I found that unlike other political parties that are equally corrupt, believe me, I've seen the system. Every party has its own wheeling dealing going on. Every party. I'm saying every means every. Here was something else. Here was a band of careerists who had come to the party one time through struggle. Many of them had struggled, like Akoli had been in the struggle, like many others had been in the struggle, and there were others who were never part of the struggle, like Derek O'Brien, Quizmaster, who comes in straight and said that this will give me better prospects than doing quizzing. So he comes in and then assumes leadership, etc., etc. This party, I found, was stuck together with only three things. Number one was power. Whoever came at that point of time after 2011 was basically looking for power. Power, whether OC of the police station salutes you, whether you ask for the municipal corporation to do something, they do it for you. People come up to you for favors. Power. Mercifully, nobody came to me because they realized I was useless. So, to that extent, I was saved. And number two was the capacity to gain things. I'll be a little more blunt. Many came for making wealth, especially at the councillor level. Every councillor has made so much money, it's completely horrendous. I know that municipal councillors and panchayats make a lot of money all over India, but Bengal was not used to it all. It was that way a saintly state, a peculiar state. So there, the second factor was making money. So many people made a lot of money. And those who were not, they looked upon as fools or whatever. And they contributed some to the party, must have. I don't know what the formula was, but they kept a lot to themselves also. So power, wealth. And the third factor was what I call chewing gum. Chewing gum means Mamata Banerjee, her memories, her charisma, her munificence. I see that after these MPs meetings, all the MPs standing up and fighting over each other to touch her feet. Touch her feet. Even big shot names that you hear in Delhi and all that, lining up to touch her feet. There were only three of us who didn't do it. I mean, obviously for obvious reasons. We are older than her, number one. And number two, something doesn't hit proper. Everyone else was there, touching her feet and sort of swooning over her feet. It's not part of Bengal culture. Bengal is an arrogant state. It doesn't believe in all this. So I found that the chewing gum factor was also very strong. Now, once any of these factors was affected, I knew the picture would be different. Now, all three are affected. Number one, they are off power. They realize they're off power. Even now they're off power. Even after defecting also, they're not in power. But they have a prospect of getting back to power if they can make the right noises. Number one. They need that power. Without power, many of them will just sink and disappear like an overnight tree. So, number one, power, power, power. They need that power. They can't do without it. It's oxygen for them. They can't believe that the OC of their local police station will come to their houses and raid them or come with a warrant like they did for Chief Minister's house, ex-Chief Minister's house. They can't believe it and they are terrified. Then, over the last few years, many of them have CBI and ED cases and other allegations against them that even if they have not been made into cases, can be made into cases in 1 week. There are so many allegations against them. So they're terrified. Then their band of followers or whatever they have are also known for their notoriety. So some of them are getting beaten up in public, and a new instrument of protest has come in, introduced by a completely vegetarian party. A completely vegetarian party has introduced a non-vegetarian missile in Bengal called eggs. I don't know what the central leadership will say about using of eggs. It may prefer tomatoes, but then tomato is an colonial product. So they might, potato is a colonial product. So they have to find somebody like Loki to throw. So they have started throwing eggs at them. Okay. They have started throwing eggs at them, and this frightens them. So the loss of power, and then comes the loss of capacity to go on, well, making hay, making hay. So they can get both of these back if they behave well with the BJP. And the BJP pretends as if it doesn't know them. First of all, the president of the party, Sami Bhattacharya, a good gentleman, he came up and said, no, 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 we have taken enough defectors, no more defectors. And he put up a notice board outside the office. No more defectors. Now, these fellows said, who wants to defect? We don't want to enter your house when you have said no entry. We'll stay in your portico. Just give us some mats. Just give us some reed mats. We'll stay in your portico. We'll stay in your portico. So now we are in what is called the portico stage. You have lots and lots of beds laid out in the portico, lots of chai going around in the portico. So, Mr. Nair, this militates against the very essence of democracy. People voted against them. Okay? Now, in a good sense, people voted against their corruption, against their, what shall I say, their brand of local extortionism, and they must pay the price for it. Even if they are my ex-colleague, they must pay the price for it. If they have built up illegal flats or houses and they are caught, like one of my local councillors was caught before the elections, they must pay the price for it or fight it out with their ill-gotten money. But why is it a travesty of democracy? The people voted for the BJP for the right or wrong reasons in Bengal. And they voted against them. They were supposed to play the role of the opposition. They didn't vote for this lot to become the proposition. You see, so it's a betrayal of what the people had voted for. It is a travesty of the vote of the people within 1 month before the mark on our fingers have left us. Even the mark has not left most of us. So this is a terrible fail. If it had happened 2 years later, 1 year later, like Operation Lotus, Operation Karnataka and all that, Bellary money and all that, one could understand this is what's going on. It's happening so shamelessly. It's like the bride walking away on the night of the Suhag. Just the bride walks away. It's as shameless as that. That is hurting.